right, welcome to Shop ReRooted. I'm going to be showing you what I did this semester, and I'm going to more heavily emphasize on my deliverables and what I actually completed, but I will walk through my research too. So, to give a brief introduction, back in March, right before the world drastically changed with the onset of COVID-19, I haphazardly launched this thrift shop called Shop ReRooted, which was Instagram based. It was a combination of both of my love for fashion and sustainability, and it was just kind of a spur of the moment decision. And then I realized at the beginning of the semester that there's a lot of work to do here, and it really applies to what I've studied. So then I plan to do a total rebrand involving empathy interviews and quantitative raw data, build an SEO optimized website, and create a micro influencer program. So, to give a little bit of project background, my research took form in 3 phases: a literature review, a competitive analysis, and interviewing and surveying. And I'm going to walk through that later on. My project goal, as I stated in my intro, was to build out those 3 things: the rebrand, the website, and the influencer program. The goal was to use my industry knowledge as well as what I've learned through my studies to create a legitimate e-commerce platform in a world that I love, sustainable fashion, and allow ReRooted to gain some legitimacy and popularity along the way as well. So, to give a little bit of background on my research, I did 3 literature I did 1 literature review of 3 different sources. So the first one was the ThredUp resale report, and this was just super helpful to me to kind of validate the problem itself. ThredUp is the largest e-commerce based thrift shop, and so they do a resale report every year that has really helpful information. And so this just helped me validate that the fashion industry is extraordinarily wasteful, and that's a problem, and sustainable fashion can be a solution. The next 2 sources were both from different colleges, actually graduate programs in Europe, and they were both about how to communicate to Gen Z, which is they're just such an interesting target, and that is the majority of my target. So this just helped me to kind of learn what Gen Z truly wants. They want to be sustainable, but they also are just very interested in being trendy. So it was just very helpful to kind of help me gauge how to target Gen Z. I also did a competitive analysis, which was super helpful, and so I did a comparison to indirect competitors, like large-scale retailers like Urban Outfitters, smaller online boutiques like Princess Polly, and large-scale sustainable brands like Aritzia, and just kind of see where ReRooted aligns with those, as those are places that people who shop ReRooted are also interested in. I also compared to my direct competitors, and these are those Instagram shops that are kind of doing the same thing I am, and shops that I honestly really look up to, and kind of saw where I align with these 3 shops specifically: Monad Vintage, Sunroom, and Sumiko, all of which are pretty different from each other, but also very similar. And so I got to see what differentiates me as a brand, and just kind of see, it helped me kind of create the path for what I wanted to do. So it was very helpful to kind of see that my aesthetic and bidding style kind of tends to differentiate me, as well as my combination of both reworked and vintage curated pieces. Lastly, especially with Sumiko, my prices tend to be more affordable. So these were just all big standout factors to me that made me realize kind of what is setting me apart, and also gave me kind of the gusto of what I need to do and how I can improve compared to my direct competitors. This was just definitely the most helpful, even though indirect competitors was helpful as well. So, findings and recommendations, I did a in-depth questionnaire, which I sent individually out to over 20 people who kind of know ReRooted's brand fairly well. I did this pretty intentionally just to kind of get results that I felt were really accurate and were well informed. So I asked people what they liked, what they disliked, kind of what colors they thought of, which was super helpful in my branding. People, for the most part, said pale pink and kind of that matcha earthy green, and so that really informed my rebrand. I also gave a list of 100 adjectives and asked people to pick a top couple, and was very intentional in not saying an exact number. And authentic was the most picked word, but there are also several other words that informed my rebrand, like sustainable, passionate, chic, quality, bright, trendy, grounded, and fresh. I also did in-depth interviews that lasted over 30 minutes each with my sister and my best friend, really to just kind of get to know what they thought of ReRooted, and they are people who have been there since the beginning, and also I feel like truly understand the brand. And so that was very helpful in kind of informing kind of the deeper motivations for what I can be doing moving forward. I created this persona, Margot Blake, based off of these results, and she is a design student in college and just wants to find unique pieces and wants to shop sustainably, but finds it to be a little bit overwhelming and also a little bit not affordable. So she is just kind of wanting that different fashion that is sustainable but also affordable for a college student. And she just recognized that getting dressed every day is one of her favorite things, and that she wants to incorporate pieces into her outfit that are totally unique to her and her style. She loves when people ask her where she got something and she can say it's one of a kind. So all of that kind of informed my design tenets. I wanted to focus on ReRooted providing unique pieces as closet staples. I wanted ReRooted to be a simple shopping experience. I wanted the aesthetics to go beyond the pieces. And I wanted fashion inspiration to be able to stem from ReRooted, and I wanted to be consistent. That's something I really struggle with, and so I want my design and then just the way that ReRooted is as a brand to be very consistent. So I started with my rebrand with my deliverables. This was the mood board that kind of informed a lot of what I did within that. This was the color palette, also super informed by my research, especially the surveys. Here are my logo iterations, just something super fresh and simple that I can incorporate everywhere. And then here's some Instagram icons that I made. Instagram is the most important platform right now for ReRooted, so that was super important to focus on that. The third image is actually my Instagram icon right now, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback on that. This is the website, and this is the biggest thing that I built out this semester. So it's linked here. And this is just something I'm super proud of and something that I'm really excited to be used by ReRooted. So this is the homepage that I just scrolled through. We have this carousel here to kind of catch people's attention right on the landing page. Scroll down with links to the collections, which I'll show soon, and then kind of inviting people to follow us online at Shop ReRooted. And then also encouraging people to sign up for the style guide, which is going to be coming soon. That is something that I kind of delegated to be a next semester task so that I could focus on everything that's going on this semester and do it really well. So eventually, this will be the shop page. This is kind of a mock-up right now, kind of showing actually a collection that's coming up with a friend of mine out in Arizona who took all these photos. So that's super exciting. Eventually, our bidding process will be moved online. Not completely. I still think that bidding on social media will be really important for us in our sales, but just for the sale actually to be made once we're set up as a business in the new year. Here is a kind of collections page. I really want that to be a narrative of ReRooted. It's just having every piece kind of be recognized as art as a part of a collection. So I've linked some past collections I'm really proud of. That was the October collection. Here's the denim collection, which featured my reworked pieces. And here is the tie-dye collection, which additionally features some more reworked pieces that I'm really proud of. Here's the about page, just something super simple, including a photo of myself. I think it's really important for small businesses to show that the person behind the brand is usually only one or two people, and people usually really like that and appreciate that. So here's a super short intro as to who I am and who ReRooted is. And then I also included a contact page just to kind of gauge who's reaching out right now and see what people's interests are. So I think an anonymous form to do that, or kind of not anonymous, but kind of just a more subtle form to do that will be very beneficial. So I'm interested to see how that goes. I also have all of our policies down here. Not that that's super important. And then our socials linked. And I'm really excited to get into Pinterest and social media marketing there. And also just super briefly, I've created the influencer marketing plan. So every single one of these girls was selected very specifically just to kind of, I guess, show the brand the best. So Caroline's in high school, Annie's in college, and Astrid is a recent college graduate. They are all located in different locations around the country. They are all recognized by their followers as people in fashion. They all care about sustainability in different ways. And I also picked a post of theirs each that I would like them to kind of use as their model for their next post. So in conclusion, Shop ReRooted is truly a culmination of what I'm passionate about, sustainable fashion and digital storytelling. This passion project of mine has turned into an opportunity to share not only my handmade and curated secondhand pieces with the world, but also what I've learned through my studies as an interactive media and entrepreneurship student. This is just the beginning, and I'm super excited to see what's in store for this little business of mine.